$200 per ounce silver or more by early next year. Do you believe it? This is coming from one of the top analysts, one of the most respected names besides you and me in the precious metal sector. He's telling us why we could get $200 plus silver as early as April or May of next year, and that it could even go much higher. We're going to dig into all the details of that. But another, probably the king of precious metals, a lot of people consider him to be, he's talking about one source of demand for silver, right? One source that if that could take up the entire year's mine supply. It's mind-blowing what's going on, guys. And we've got more to talk about, confiscation and a whole lot more. The biggest thing we want to talk about is you. Yeah, you. Thank you for joining me down here in the basement. I really appreciate it, your support, our camaraderie as we navigate these choppy waters, although it's been kind of smooth sailing lately for silver and gold. You're important, you matter, and I really appreciate you giving your time, choosing to be here. Please subscribe to the channel. It's free. Everything's free in Ron's Basement. Give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, leave a comment in the comment section. Let's start digging in. We're going to look at some other things first, then we're going to get to this $200 plus per ounce silver call, trying to get the tech working here. Hopefully you guys can see me and hear me. I can see you. Yeah, you. Thank you very much. All right, let's pull this up. Well, what the heck? Since we're here, we'll talk about this. Silver in the spot market on Friday closed at, only $67.22. You know what? Since we're out here, let's go ahead and check and see what the futures closed at, $67.40. So we are in the normal state of what is called contango in the silver market, but we were getting into a bit of backwardation earlier in the week. But what I really want to talk about, hey, look, we talk about this all the time. What could be one of the biggest, not the one that the king of silver and gold are going to tell us about later, but one of the biggest sources of overwhelming demand, right? It's when the general public wake up, when the other 95, 96% of people, right, those neighbors of yours who maybe laughed at you just one short year ago when you talked about silver all the time. Yeah, they talked behind your back. Trust me. I can tell you some stories probably about what my neighbors said about me behind my back. But when those people wake up, who we affectionately refer to as the sheeple, it could be a flood of new money on top of everything else coming into silver. And that's going to happen when the mainstream media wakes up. In the mainstream media, we can't say they've woken up, but they're getting close. Here's a little proof for you right now. This comes from, they changed their logo on us, CNBC. Kelly Evans, she's like a high profile financial journalist at CNBC. She has a headline. Do you read that? Does that say, what's that word? CNBC headline? Silver. And wow. Okay. And we're not going to go too deep into it, but she talks about this guy from Goldman Sachs, blah, blah, blah. And he said this, he said that in yellow, if it's on the periodic table, which silver is, I think it's number 47, and it has an atomic number attached to it, it's the debasement trade. Hey, they stole our name. Now they're calling silver by its proper name, the debasement trade. In green, then, he says, and there are two dynamics driving the current debasement trade. One source of demand is coming from anyone who wants to own something, quote unquote, money-like, other than fiat currency, other than paper, make-believe, fantasy island money. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is coming from countries like China and Russia that are trying to de-dollarize so they can't be subjected to U.S. financial sanctions. Very interesting. He forgets to throw India in there, who's kind of on the bubble, but India also has what? Only 1.4 billion people. They've only imported record amounts of silver. Oh, and by the way, while you're at it, who was this? Let's give him credit. Hold on. He was the guy, Jeff Curry. By the way, Mr. Curry, there's something else going on in the world of silver, and that is in January, China, our friends in China in the Shanghai Gold Exchange, they just are implementing quietly. Nobody's talking about it too much. right? Export controls. They're basically saying, oh, we want to keep our silver. Sorry if you want silver. So that's that. Man, we got a lot to cover. So this is big news. Breaking news. Breaking news. And I'll tell you the reason why in 1 second why this is a huge deal. But you probably, maybe you haven't, but if you have not, you're going to see it for the first time. I've seen this table. This table is commonly showed in the financial world. It shows the market cap of all the world's biggest assets and companies. Okay. Gold is up there. Okay. Number one, $41 trillion. But where do you think your friend silver is? Huh? Well, look what happened. Okay. Oh, hold on. What did I do? Hold on here. If I go back, did I screw that up? What is happening here? Hold on. Hold on, guys. Let's go. I'm going to put you back on the screen for a second. And let's pull this back up. Sorry about that. Here it is. Okay, I'm going to have you right back there, lickety split. Here we are. Hold on here. Okay, now you should be back on the right screen. I don't know what happened there. I apologize. Technical difficulties. Gold is at number one on the table. Make sure we got you on there, which we do. Hopefully you guys can see me and hear me right now. Sometimes it gets the tech gets a little screwed up. Gold's number one, Nvidia number two, Apple number three. Look who moved up to number four, and this is big news. I'm going to tell you why. Silver is now the fourth largest asset in the world. Congratulations to silver. Now, why this is a big deal. Somebody astutely pointed this out. I'll see if I can give them credit. Here's another one from Josh Fair, right? Silver, fourth biggest market cap in the world right now. Here we go, right here. Investor Sanchez, think about this. He said, once silver crosses Nvidia, it will get the attention of the masses, the common people, right? The mainstream media. So think about that. Look back at this chart. And are we that far? We're not that far behind, guys. We're at five. This is Canadian dollars. We're at 5 trillion Canadian dollars. Apple's right in our sights, and Nvidia is not that far behind. When silver becomes the second most valuable asset in the world, right? It's going to get massive attention. It's going to be a huge, huge deal. Okay, next, we're going to talk about 200 plus silver by 2026. You got that right. But if you want to get some silver right now, I want to say thank you to channel sponsor First Mint. They're a silver mint in the United States, in Las Vegas, Nevada, creating some of the coolest silver products you're ever going to see. This is their 10-ounce Folds of Honor bar. That's a folded American flag. I can't hold this up too much longer. It's so darn heavy. Man, you love the feel of silver, right? But they've got silver rounds. They've got silver bars. They have other special products, all kinds of great stuff, all unique, all created by them, and all first class. Okay, the whole experience. The products are great. The prices are great. The shipping comes, the boxes come. It feels like it's, I mean, I've bought silver for years on the internet, and I've had all types of packaging experiences. The packaging experience I get with First Mint is like, it's like I'm getting an Apple product or something. It's really, really cool. But what's best is inside, because you're getting silver, the freshest silver. You're going to get that silver and say, wow, this feels fresher than any other silver I've ever had, because First Mint is owned by First Majestic Silver, who mines the silver in Mexico, ships it to Las Vegas, Nevada, and then it goes straight to you, from the mine to the mint to you. Have you ever heard of the COMEX or the LBMA? Those paper markets, those places where they, some people have speculated that possibly they've manipulated the price of silver for years. Well, guess what? Here's the good news with First Mint, right? It's going from the mine to the mint to you. And right, you can get a little discount with a special code because you are VIP, okay? VIP RB. Think Ron's Basement. VIP RB. Thank you, First Mint. There's their logo, firstmint.com. You can go check them out for yourself. Let's talk about why, right? We're going to look at the reasons why we could have $200 silver by early sometime first half of 2026. This is coming from Michael Oliver. one of the most respected analysts in the precious metal sector. But what's even more important to remember about him, because I've been following him for a decade longer, he many times would say he thinks the price of gold's going to go down. He thinks the price, he's not permanently, he loves gold and silver, but he's also very, very honest in his many times in the past that he thought the price was going to struggle or go down. Now he's talking about $200 silver by early next year. Let's dig in. I'll read fast, but this is worth reading. Then we're going to listen to him for about 1 minute. He says, we'll probably see, hold on here. Here we go. Yep, we'll probably see, I'll start here, $200 silver by the second quarter. Now, I could be wrong. We might vastly overshoot. Well, we hope you're wrong if that's the case and see something even higher than that. Be in silver, be in the miners now. Michael Oliver from Momentum Structure Analysis. This is the breakout from a half-century trading range. For 50 years, silver has been contained. That containment is now failing, okay? Why this time is structurally different. Gold broke out versus the S&P 500 on a spread basis, signaling a major asset class rotation. Silver has broken out versus gold, meaning it's set to outperform dramatically. Slingshot move, okay? The miners are breaking multi-decade spreads versus gold, poised to double relative value, okay? The historical precedent is stunning. I got something to show you comparing where we are now compared to the Hunt Brothers situation. When copper broke out from a 30-year range, it quadrupled, okay? When lead did the same thing in 2007, it also quadrupled. Silver is now breaking out of a 50-year range. The potential velocity is immense, okay? This is the start, not the end. I know can it feel hard? Do you feel that way sometimes? Like, oh, you know, silver doubled over the last year. Guys, this could really be the start, not the end. Oh, excuse me, I had to take a little sip of water. Okay, the capital is just starting to rotate in from inflated equities. Think about that. The S&P and the 500. Think about all the money. It's crazy. Some people say it's a bubble when if just a fraction of that money comes in to the gold and silver sector from the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, it's going to be like a flood. It's going to be like trying to drain Hoover Dam with a garden hose. Okay, is it too late to invest? The clear technical answer is no. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you what they're saying, and I also happen to agree with that. The bottom line, the charts are screaming that it's a historic compressed repricing of silver and mining equities is imminent. This is a structural shift, not a speculative spike. Being early feels late, but being late will be costly. Let's watch 43 seconds. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to get this on full screen for you and hear what he said about silver and also about the mining stocks. Okay, here we go, guys.
We'll probably see $200 by the second quarter. Now, I could be wrong. We might vastly overshoot and see something even higher than that.
Let that one sink in. We, again, Mr. Oliver, in all due respect, we hope you're wrong in this occasion, that we do go higher.
Seriously. So what this spread chart is telling us is that not only is gold shifting versus the stock market, and silver and the miners are breaking out versus the stock market, but relative to gold itself, the miners we know they're cheap. Everybody talks about how cheap they are relative to their intrinsic value.
So this chart is showing you the price of gold. The price of gold compared to the miners, the XAU, which is the Philadelphia Gold and Silver Miners Index. As you can see, right, the index itself relative to gold has been low. But what he's talking about over there on the right-hand side, right, is that it's starting to break out. And man, if those mining stocks get back to just even an average level, we could hear, it says right here, breakout and expect open field running to the next resistance, meaning a rise more than doubling of miners versus gold. Because everybody's saying that, especially with silver, that the price of the metals has gone up so high, But in a lot of ways, the miners have a lot of catching up to do, right? Either that or the price of the metals comes down. It's going to get corrected one way or the other. I think the latter, that the price of the miners catches up with the actual metals.
They're waking up. And if they go through the top of that range, expect a gusher on the upside in terms of net price for the miners and relative gain versus gold, likely to be at least double. If you're in the mining, if you're in the gold monetary metals sector, emphasis should be on silver and miners. Not mama gold.
That's his opinion. Okay. So super interesting. 200 plus silver by next year. I think we'll all be very, very happy with that. And could it happen? Oh, no, it couldn't. I'm going to show you something right now that shows you, baby, we ain't seen nothing yet when it comes to the price of gold, but in particular in the price of silver. Let's go on a little history trip back to the Hunt brother era, right, where silver skyrocketed from like under $5 to over $50. And I want to show you something that, to me, in no uncertain terms, indicates we could be very early. In 1980, okay, the Hunt brothers silver squeeze wasn't that crazy. Gold did 4x in 1 year. And we've basically, I don't know what we've done in the last year, but somewhere around doubled. I know back in about 2 years ago, gold was, I don't know what, 1,900, 2,000 an ounce, so a little over double. But in 1 year back then, gold did 4x. Silver, right, in 1 year did 10x, okay, 10 times. The price of silver went up 10 times. So I want you, and at the peak, the gold to silver ratio was 17 to 1. I want you to think about that. Let's go out and look at this quickly. Again, our chart from CNBC, right? The price of silver in 1 year, 1 year ago today, we were about $30. Today, we're at 68. We feel like, and you hear some people, somebody said it to me today, another very successful silver and gold YouTuber I was talking to, a friend of mine, he was like, is it getting a little bubbly? It's silver. I'm like, I said, I don't think silver's getting bubbly. It's only doubled. Right? Look at what happened during the Hunt brothers era. The price of silver went up 10x. We went up 1x this time. Okay. So if you compare what's happened, right? And again, we've said this all along. The price of silver has had a pretty steady increase over the last year. It wasn't a super spike. Has it gone up dramatically? Absolutely. We won't argue that. But was it a straight up spike? And what he's talking about, or what we're looking at when we look at this, is this fact that if there is a spike, if there really is, like, it's a frenzy, a scramble, they're starting to use that word. We used it first down here, scramble. There seems to be a scramble for precious metals. But if that scramble turns into a squeeze, we've not had a silver squeeze, guys. We haven't. Don't believe, it's fun to see it when it's in the headlines and all that great stuff. But if you look at what's happened over in the silver price over the last 18 months, it's not a squeeze. It might be a semi-squeeze. It might be a squeeze, a long-term, but it's been like periods of, it's not been a straight up move. Now, let's do some quick math, because what he pointed out there as well, just for fun and games, that during the Hunt brothers era, the gold to silver ratio got to 17 to 1. If we divide the gold price, 4,300, by 17, oh boy, well, maybe Mr. Oliver's correct. That would be a $250 per ounce silver price. Next, we're going to go talk about gold confiscation and silver confiscation, and we're going to look at what happened in history and put it kind of in the context of what's going on right now. I do want to say thank you to channel sponsor right there, First Mining Gold. It's a stock I've owned for years. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. Always be responsible. But guys, they've got two huge projects in Canada, development stage gold projects in Canada with massive deposits of gold in the ground. Both projects have millions of ounces of gold in the ground. Springpole in Ontario, Duparquet, located in Quebec. You can check out their website, firstmininggold.com. You know what? Let's go on a field trip. I'm going to show you First Mint's website, which is right here. Talked about them earlier. That's firstmint.com. And if you want to learn about First Mining Gold, you can go here to First Mining Gold. Yep, let's get it on the right screen. And there you go. You've got it. Okay. Now let's talk about, we're going to go here, right? One of the coolest, most loved people in the precious metal sector, Vince Lancy, put this out. And this makes sense within where we are now. He said, once you understand what gold confiscation was really about from the confiscator's perspective, from the government's perspective, the next 5 years become easy to see. And there it is right there. Wow. Can you imagine that? 1933, Executive Order 6102. Turn in your gold. Or you can have a $10,000 fine, which was a lot of money back then, right? We know the dollars crashed in value. What, $10,000 in 1933, I'd imagine, is probably 100 to 200,000 in today's dollars, or go to prison for 10 years. Can you imagine that? Right? Either turn in your medals or go to prison. Now, this is where it's interesting. In 1933, Roosevelt issued Executive Order 6102, making it illegal for U.S. citizens to own gold coins or bullion. You turn it all in to the government or face 10 years in prison. The government paid you. This is where it's interesting. So the government paid you $20.67 an ounce. Once they had all the gold, okay, they immediately raised the price to $35 per ounce. So they took everybody's gold, right, which they were using to back the dollar, paid you $20, and then once they had it, they said, oh, guess what? Now that we have all the gold, it's worth $35. They basically printed money, instantly devaluing everyone's paper money and making the government rich. It was the greatest wealth heist in American history. And it's got to get us thinking with all of the right now, what we're facing, right? With all the central banks acquiring so much gold, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I get the question all the time. We can't outrule that the government may not confiscate gold or silver. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not in favor of it. And I think there would be massive backlash from the precious metals community, but that's why they did it. And that gives them this ability, right? People talk about even now, if we do have those 8,000 metric tons of gold in Fort Knox, that they could revalue it to revalue gold to $20,000 an ounce or even higher. And that could be a way for them to essentially print money. So very interesting. Don't forget, I've said this for years. The world has never really gone off the gold standard. Okay. Gold and silver have always, look at that chart we looked at earlier of the most valuable companies and assets in the world, right? Gold number one, silver number what? 4, right? Okay. Gold and silver I think we always have been. I think we always will be. That's just my opinion. And I think that when they start to tokenize gold and silver even more in the coming years and decades, that's the remonetization of gold and silver. It's super exciting. I'm sorry I get a little passionate about it. Hey guys, don't forget quickly, I'm not sponsored by this charity or anything like that. I'm just doing it because I believe in it. Check out Hope Walks, okay? And look at what they're doing to help children all around the world. If you want to do something nice, want to do something charitable, please check them out. I believe in the charity 100%. And I think that they're doing great work for children all around the world. Let's talk about, the king of silver, right? This is probably a guy, if you asked the people that we really look up to in the world of silver, who do you look up to? And they would say Eric Sprott. And Eric Sprott brought up something really shocking. Okay. We've been hearing about the industrial uses for silver for years. Recently, there's been renewed emphasis placed on solid state batteries. These are the batteries that they're putting into the future electric vehicles. Right? And from what we're understanding at this point, in particular with Samsung, is that these batteries could use up to each electric car that's produced could use up to 1 kilogram of silver each. That's like over 30 ounces of silver per car. And it's shocking. I'm going to let Eric Sprott say it. I've got a little video for us to watch, but it's shocking to hear what that could do from a demand perspective for silver. And that if this comes to fruition, and there's more and more people, right, pointing in the direction that it could be something cataclysmic for the silver market. Let's see what Eric has to say. And he's with, looks like Craig Hemke, and this was posted by Wall Street Gold. Okay, we'll read that in a minute. Let's listen to Mr. Eric Sprott.
Yeah. Well, Samsung develops a battery that charges in 9 minutes. Can anybody figure out why that's a good thing?
Right.
It goes 900 kilometers. Can anyone figure out why that's a world change? And they use a kilogram of silver in this solid state battery. By the way, they use manganese too, which I'm a big owner of, not the metal, but the companies. And they say if that could capture 20% of the electric vehicle market, it would consume all the silver produced in a year.
My goodness.
Did you hear that? Right? If these new batteries capture just 20% of the electric vehicle market, they would consume all the silver produced in an entire year. You know what? I'm going to let him say it one more time, then I won't interrupt him anymore.
If that could capture 20% of the electric vehicle market, it would consume all the silver produced in a year.
My goodness gracious.
Yeah.
And that's just that. That's just that battery.
One thing.
That's not solar panels.
Gracious.
No.
Electronic.
Is it any wonder that these Asian countries keep buying these materials?
Right.
So I think that's a big, big change that's coming. And they're going to be starting to produce these things, I think, for consumption in 28 vehicles. So that's 27 production, which means maybe buying the metal in 26 to make sure you got enough. And, was there a shortage? Yes, there is. Well, you're screwed already. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I didn't think about that, right? Like he said, think about hold on here. Hold on. I'll be right back. I lost you for a second. Hopefully you guys can still see me and hear me. These solid state batteries. Yeah. And I've heard that like Lexus, last I heard, Toyota's luxury brand Lexus is going to be the first to roll these out. And I've heard 2028. If they're going to be selling the cars in 2028, they'll be produced in 2027. And like Eric Sprott said, they'll need to get the silver in 2026. And like we talked about yesterday or the day before, now it's being reported that Samsung has invested $7 million into a silver mine in Mexico. Think about what's happening. And on top of that, it just hit me. We're always down here talking about, we know China, right, loves silver and gold. We know that whole story, right? We know India loves silver. We talked about that earlier. On top of that, we never talk about South Korea. Add them to the list, the growing list of countries, right, that are going to be gobbling up the world's silver supply. I mean, every way you look at it, it's just absolutely incredible. Man, it's going to be fun. Don't forget, also, guys, it's the holiday season. If you're interested, please check out Dirty Man Safe. If you're looking for a unique and special way, similar to what the pirates did, okay, to store something that's very valuable to you, Dirty Man Safes are safes that you bury in the ground. Here, I'll show you this one real quick. There it is right there. I love these things. They're awesome, okay? There is a discount code, RON10. So don't forget that. I'd highly recommend you check them out. Probably could get it shipped and print out a picture and put it in a box and give it to somebody that you love and say, here, this is coming in a couple days, okay? Might be too late to get one with shipping now. Maybe not. I could be wrong. All right, guys, thanks for joining me down here in the basement. This was a Snap live stream. But, man, we've got so much. Can you believe, huh? Think about this. I want you to think about a number. 67. That the silver price per ounce is $67. Don't forget, last year, today, right, I did a live stream, and the silver price was at best in the low 30s. Okay? Guys, this is historic times that we are living through right now in the world of silver. We've got one of the top respected analysts. Again, so important for us to remember. Michael Oliver, many times over the years. This guy's Eric Sprott, who we just listened to, talks about Michael Oliver, okay, as somebody he respects. And Michael Oliver, many times in the past, had said that he thought the price of gold and silver were going to go down, okay, because of looking at the charts and looking at all the factors involved. He's telling us that in early 2026 that we could have silver at over $200 per ounce. But we know that it's not out of the realm of possibilities because, look, I know it feels like, oh, silver's so high and it's an all-time high. Well, not when you adjust it for inflation, and it's especially not when you adjust it for the real inflation numbers. When you do that, right, you get a silver price that could be well over 100. Some people say even well over $200 per ounce. Okay, it's real. It's happening. Okay, just from a current perspective. And then we listen to people like Eric Sprott talking about solid state batteries. If 20% of the future electric cars use these solid state batteries, it would consume an entire year's worth of silver production. But wait, there's more. Okay, because the amount of silver being produced has been going down, down, down. The mining sector, because our friends at the COMEX and the LBMA had artificially manipulated the price of gold and silver down for decades, nobody invested. Very few, only the smartest of the smart, right? People like Keith Neumeyer, people like Sean Kuhn, people like, I can't, all the names out there that got the people that were ahead of the curve were investing in, but there were very, very few. So when this massive tidal wave, don't tell anybody, of demand for silver comes in, they're not going to be able to fulfill it. Okay. And it's going to take years and years and years for the mining sector to catch up. That's just a fact. I think we're sitting pretty, right? There's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be days when we're down here saying, oh my gosh, is it over? Is it over? Oh, silver's down, right? Don't worry. Don't worry. When I look at the big picture, when I look out, where do you think silver is going to be 10 years from now? Where do you think gold's going to be 10 years from now? We know, okay? We know. Thanks for joining me down here in the basement. Please, again, subscribe to the channel. It's free. You just press the subscribe, and then you press the little bell next to it. That way you'll get notified. But most important, thank you for giving me your time, for joining us down here in the basement. On behalf of myself and Susie, we'd like to wish you a happy holiday season and let you know that we're looking forward to seeing you, yes, you, next time. Have a great night. I'll see you soon.